Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the West Milton Council meeting for March 2023. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Holy God, we give you thanks for this day. We give you thanks for sunshine on our way to this gathering this evening. We give you thanks for a village that we can raise our families in safety. And we thank you for those who have taken up the mantle of leadership as part of the community to help guide this village forward. Give wisdom, give grace for all that is discussed here, and guide this town and council to your glory. We ask your blessings, we ask your presence. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Miller?
Here.
Mr. Tracy? Ms. Metz?
Here.
Mr. Horn?
Here.
Mr. Hurst?
Here.
Ms. Cobb?
Here.
Mr. Dorman?
Here.
From last month's meeting, Vice Mayor Hurst was absent from the council meeting, and Councilperson Kopp was absent from the workshop, and Councilor Tracy is not able to make it this evening. Are there any motions to excuse the members from said meetings?
I make a motion to excuse members from said meetings.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Ms. Cobb?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes. Council should have received minutes for February the 14th regular council meeting and February 28th council workshop. Are there any motions for the minutes?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept the meeting minutes for the regular council meeting and the council workshop.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Ms. Cobb?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mr. Tracy? Mayor Miller?
Yes. Moving on to correspondence from council.
Mayor, we have actually two pieces of correspondence. The first one is addressed to the West Milton City Council. We appreciate your contribution of $1,000 to the Child Advocacy Center at Isaiah's Place. It is the strong partnerships and collaboration that will enable us to provide the very best services to victims of child abuse, their families, and our community. And this is from the program director, Jennifer Nicely. The second correspondence, I was glad to hear that West Milton has a property maintenance inspector. I grew up in West Milton and my mother still lives there. When we run errands and need to park in the parking lot behind the post office, it is always a mess. Potholes, inoperable vehicles that are never moved. The entrance by Hamilton Street is overgrown with weeds. It's a mess. Needs repaved and restriped for parking. Not very inviting for customers and your stores downtown, and not pleasant for visitors. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Sincerely, Vicki House. I contacted Ms. House and left a message explaining to her that that's not a public parking lot, but is in fact privately owned by each of the businesses. So I was not able to speak to her, but that was her. Those were her concerns.
Very good. All right. Thank you. At this time, we will have a public hearing on the proposed adoption of the downtown master plan. This is the first chapter in the steps of developing a master plan. And so at this point, is there a motion to open up a public hearing?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to open up a public hearing on the adoption of the downtown master plan.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? I will
It's just open the floor for public comment. This is required by the charter. Is that correct?
Yes.
Ms. Brochap?
Yes.
So at this time, are there any public comments regarding the development of the master plan? Okay, seeing none. At this
Need a
point,
motion to close it.
is
Need a
there,
motion.
is there a motion to close?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay. We will open the floor up to comments from citizens regarding tonight's legislation. There's quite a few on here tonight, so I don't know if anybody has any comments regarding these. All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to ordinances and resolution. First is CM-22-55. Turn it over to Ms. Brush.
It's an ordinance amending section 137.09, pointing and discharging firearms and other weapons of the West Milton Codified Ordinances.
Manager Sheridan, would you?
Yeah, certainly.
Care to
This,
explain?
I believe this is the second reading of this ordinance. This came about for a couple of reasons. One was that the police department wanted to open a shooting range, a gun range for their own officers. It's not open to the public. It's so that they can do their necessary training closer and at less expense. And that led to a significant discussion on the existing ordinance that was fairly old and I think had some requirements and some language that maybe not everyone was familiar with. So it took us a bit of time, but this is the final version that accomplishes, I believe, everything we set out to change as a result of the new ordinance.
Is there any discussion or questions regarding the ordinance?
I'd just like to say that I was very happy or pleased with how this turned out. And the path that we took to get here, from comments from citizens to our own discussions, which take time, but in the end, got to a very good resolution to the ordinance. So I'm thankful for all the work that everybody did and how it came out. So.
At this time, is there a motion for the ordinance?
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to accept CM-22-55.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Ms. Cobb?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes. Moving to CM-23-07.
It's an ordinance amending section 51.23, sewer tap fees and special line assessments of the West Milton Code of Ordinances.
Manager Sheridan?
Yeah, as you may recall, last year we updated the water tap fees, and this was the final step in making sure our fees and charges in the sewer and water utility were updated. So this should be the last piece of legislation dealing with utility rates for some time.
Very good. Any discussion or questions from council? Is there a motion for the ordinance?
Make a motion, we accept CM-23-07.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Ms. Cobb?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes. Next is 23-09. Ms. Brush.
It's a resolution to authorize the municipal manager to enter into a contract for the purchase of portable radios for the West Milton Fire Department.
This was discussed at the last workshop. This is also the second read, no, this is a resolution.
Oh, sorry, I guess I have to read the whole thing. then.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was an ordinance, I
Yeah, me too.
apologize. All right.
Whereas the municipality's fire department is in need of new radios in order for the department to efficiently perform its job duties. And whereas the fire chief has negotiated in good faith for the purchase of 6 portable radios along with the necessary equipment and services for use by the West Milton Fire Department. And whereas the municipal manager believes it is in the municipality's best interest to enter into a contract with Motorola Solutions for the purchase of 6 portable radios along with the necessary equipment and services at the price of $37,166.28. Whereas the municipal manager is requesting that council waive the formal bidding process for this purchase by an affirmative vote of 5 council members pursuant to section 33.189 of the West Milton Codified Ordinances, based on there being no benefit to the municipality to undertake formal bidding, and it being in the best interest of the municipality to waive the formal bidding process due to the unique market for emergency radios, the fact that the Motorola radio is used and preferred by the Miami County Communication Center and is compatible with other jurisdictions, unlike the current radios used by the West Milton Fire Department, which are not compatible with other nearby jurisdictions. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Municipality of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, council hereby waives the formal bidding requirement by an affirmative vote of 5 council members pursuant to Section 33.189 of the West Milton Codified Ordinances. Section 2, the fire chief has negotiated in good faith for the purchase of 6 portable radios along with the necessary equipment and services. Section 3, the municipal manager is hereby authorized to execute a contract for the purchase of 6 portable radios along with the necessary equipment and services at the price of $37,166.28. Said contract is attached hereto and incorporated herein as if fully rewritten. Section 4, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after its passage.
Thank you, Ms. Brush.
There was, as council I'm sure is aware, there was significant discussion at the workshop and a request for additional information, which Chief Jay provided. Obviously, he is here if the council has any further questions.
Nope. Appreciate all your extra education on our part for learning the ins and outs of that complex and expensive piece of equipment.
Any other questions or discussions? At the previous meeting, we had tabled this resolution. At this time, is there a motion to untable the resolution?
I make a motion, we untable the resolution.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? At this is there a motion to accept the resolution?
Make a motion, we accept, is it CM-23-09 as read and written.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Ms. Kopp?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes. Next on the agenda is CM-23-10. Turn that over to Ms. Brush.
It's an ordinance ratifying the approval by council of ordinances passed by council from June 28th, 2022 through January 10th, 2023.
Thank you, Ms. Brush.
As council may recall, there was an omission of a publication that we're correcting with this ordinance.
Questions or discussion for council? Is there a motion for the ordinance? Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion, we accept ordinance CM-23-10 as written.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Ms. Kopp?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes. Next is CM-23-11.
It's a resolution approving the downtown master plan for the municipality of West Milton, Ohio. Whereas the municipality of West Milton previously contracted with Collabo LLC to prepare an updated comprehensive plan. And whereas the comprehensive plan is being reviewed and updated in sections in order to focus on the different areas of the municipality. And whereas a draft downtown master plan was prepared based on extensive citizen input and information concerning West Milton's existing conditions and future projects. And whereas the planning board reviewed the downtown master plan on March 1st, 2023 to confirm the plan's consistency with the comprehensive plan. And whereas the planning board made a recommendation to adopt the downtown master plan to the West Milton Council. And whereas council conducted a public hearing to entertain public input regarding the draft downtown master plan. And whereas council, having thoroughly reviewed the draft downtown master plan, has determined that it is in the public interest to approve this downtown master plan for the municipality of West Milton. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, that the downtown master plan attached hereto as Exhibit A and dated November 2022 is hereby approved and adopted as the official downtown master plan for the municipality of West Milton. Section 2, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force upon passage.
Manager Sheridan?
Yeah, this is something we've been working on for months. This is only the beginning of updating the comprehensive plan for the community, but I must say I'm very excited about this first step, and there's many more good things to come.
Could you maybe expand a little bit on what the master plan is and how you plan on using this document?
Absolutely. A comprehensive plan is the guidebook for the next 20 years. This lays out the goals. This talks about where the municipality is today and where it would like to go. It identifies different areas of the community for improvement, for change. And so it will be a tool that the planning board will use to advise the council on future development.
Very good. And is that locked into stone, or can we
It is
modify
not. It is, as they call, a living document. Obviously, we don't know what, as of today, what we think we'd like to be in 20 years will change, probably sooner rather than later. So it can be modified and updated at any time. Oftentimes, there are projects or challenges that weren't anticipated today that come up 3, 4, 10 years from now, and you simply have to address those by modifying the comprehensive plan. In theory, everything you approve should be consistent with the plan.
Very good. Are there any other questions or discussions regarding the master plan?
I'm just gonna say, I'm happy that we have it. It's nice to have a vision and a goal. As long as I can remember, our comprehensive plan has, it's been pretty ancient, so it's nice to have it updated and easy to follow, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, very much. And it was great to see all the feedback from the community and where the vision was leading us.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank the planning board for working tirelessly through this and with Collabo and with the community in general, and just seeing all their hard work come to fruition.
Absolutely. Is there a motion for the resolution?
Make a motion, we accept CM-23-11 as
Second. I'm sorry.
as read and written.
Appreciate your enthusiasm.
I was gonna say as quickly as possible. You beat me to it.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Mrs. Cobb?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes. Next is CM-23-12.
It's a resolution authorizing the payment for the Child Advocacy Center at Isaiah's Place agreement for year 2023. Whereas the municipality sees a need to sign an agreement for the calendar year 2023 with the Child Advocacy, I think I said that wrong earlier, Advocacy Center at Isaiah's Place. And whereas council by resolution CM-23-12 authorizes the municipality of West Milton Police Division to enter into this agreement of assisting with mandated investigations of children affected by abuse cases. And whereas the Child Advocacy Center at Isaiah's Place, located at 61 Stanfield Road, Troy, Ohio, is the sole source of this services in Miami County. And whereas it is the opinion of the municipal manager that it is in the best interest of the municipality and in compliance with the administrative code and resolution CM-23-12. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the municipality of West Milton, Ohio, that section 1, the municipal manager is hereby authorized and directed to pay $1,000 to Isaiah's Place for the before-mentioned services and to execute all documents and agreements necessary to complete the transaction of this one-year agreement.
Thank you, Ms. Brush. And Manager Sheridan, I know that we had some correspondence regarding this earlier.
Correct.
I don't know if there's anything else that you'd like to add, or?
Simply that this is one of those services that we hope we never need, but I think it's a resource that it's important we do have available should the need arise.
Any questions or discussion regarding the resolution?
Is this something we should budget for next year?
Yes.
I would expect it'll be in the discussion for the budget this fall for next year.
At this time, is there a motion for the resolution?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt Resolution CM-23-12 as read.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Ms. Cop?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes. Next is 23-13, Ms. Brush.
A resolution amending the wage increase for fire department personnel and officers. Whereas the current yearly wage increase for fire department personnel and officers is based off of the state minimum wage, and whereas the municipal manager has recommended a revision to the fire department compensation, and whereas council has reviewed the proposed revision and wishes to implement the changes as recommended by the manager. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the municipality of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, the municipal manager is hereby authorized and directed to modify the hourly wage of fire personnel to be $15 per hour and of fire officers to be $15.55 per hour, beginning with the first pay period in 2023, which occurs in June 2023 for the period of service from December 1st, 2022 to May 31st, 2023. Section 2, the fire department hourly wage based off of the state minimum wage is hereby rescinded. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage.
Yeah, as the Budget Committee may recall, this was discussed when we were putting the budget together for 2023. Most, if not all, the staff also received raises, so this is the last piece of legislation to implement that updating of wages and salaries.
Any questions or discussions regarding the resolution? Is there a motion for the resolution?
Make a motion, we accept CM-23-13 as read and written.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Ms. Cop?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes. Next is 23-14.
It's a resolution authorizing the municipal manager to apply for, accept, and enter into a water supply revolving loan account, known as a WSRLA agreement on behalf of the Village of West Milton, Ohio for the Miami Street Water Main and Lead Service Replacement Project, and designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan. Whereas the Village of West Milton seeks to upgrade its existing water facilities, and whereas the Village of West Milton intends to apply for a water supply revolving loan account for the Miami Street Water Main and Lead Service Replacement Project, and whereas the Ohio WSRLA requires the government authority to pass legislation for application of a loan and the execution of an agreement, as well as designating a dedicated repayment source. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the Village of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, council authorizes the municipal manager to apply for a WSRLA loan, sign all documents for, and enter into a WSRLA with the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency and the Ohio Water Development Authority for the Miami Street Water Main and Lead Service Replacement Project on behalf of the Village of West Milton, Ohio. Section 2, that the dedicated source of repayment will be the Water Capital Improvement Fund. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force upon passage.
Thank you, Ms. Brush. Manager Sheridan.
Yeah, as you may recall, I believe it was more than 2 years ago, we applied for a grant to replace the water main that runs down North Miami Street. It's currently a 6-inch main, and it's at least 40 or 50 years old, older than that, well past its life expectancy. We're replacing it with a 12-inch main, which will greatly increase the water supply and water pressure. We were delayed a year when we discovered how many lead service lines were in that area. So we went back and got another grant to help the homeowners with the cost of replacing the lead service lines. And if you're not aware, that's not something we have a choice in. Federal law would not allow us to hook a house or a business back up with a lead service line. So the project is slated to be constructed this summer, and this is part of the paperwork. It's being funded with a combination of grant and loan, and this is obviously the loan portion. Any questions?
How much is the loan portion again?
I want to say it's probably about 60% of the project, so around 600,000.
Okay.
I can get you the exact number.
No, that's fine.
I'm going by memory,
No,
so.
that's fine. That's all I needed. I was just curious.
And will this offset the cost to the residents?
It will with those, with the lead service line.
Yes.
And there is also the possibility, once the project is complete, we can apply to make the loan portion a forgivable loan.
Very good. Any other questions or discussion? Is there a motion for the resolution?
Mr. Mayor, make a motion we accept CM-23-14 as read and written.
That's rude.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Ms. Cobb?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes. Next is CM-23-15.
It's a resolution to upfit a new pickup truck for use in Water Distribution and Service Department. Whereas it is necessary to upfit the new 2022 Ford F-350, and whereas written quotes have been received pursuant to Section 33.18 of the West Milton Code of Ordinances, and whereas the 2023 operating budget capital improvements allow for this expenditure, and whereas this upfitting service and parts will include a utility bed, warning light, snow plow, and miscellaneous. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Municipality of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, the council hereby approves the upfitting of a 2022 Ford F-350 Super Duty truck from K.E. Rose Company of Dayton, Ohio, at a price of $17,040. Section 2, council authorizes the Director of Service to execute all the proper documents required to complete said purchase. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage.
Thank you.
This would be the last step in updating our fleet. Mr. Herron, how old was the vehicle this is replacing, do you recall?
Yeah, so that was 2008, I believe it was, and that one we're gonna bring back.
Right,
so.
right. So I would suggest that our service department is very frugal with their vehicles. They maintain them very well. And so it's again, we're replacing a truck that was at the end of its life expectancy.
Very good. Any other questions or discussions? Is there a motion for the resolution?
I'll make a motion to accept CM-23-15.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Ms. Cobb?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes. Next is CM-23-16.
It's a resolution authorizing the donation of $10,000 to WM Community Celebrations Incorporated for the West Milton fireworks display for the 4th of July celebration. Whereas the Village of West Milton donates a sum of money each year to help with the cost of the fireworks displayed for the 4th of July celebration. And whereas WM Communication Celebrations Incorporated, an Ohio 501c3 corporation, will be responsible for the fireworks display for the 2023 4th of July celebration. And whereas due to the rising cost of supplies, and in order to continue the celebration that has been a tradition for the residents of West Milton for many years, council believes it to be in the best interest of the village to donate $10,000 toward the fireworks display. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, council authorizes the donation of $10,000 to WM Community Celebrations Incorporated for the cost of the fireworks display for the 2023 4th of July celebration. Section 2, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force upon passage.
Thank you. I don't know if Manager Sheridan would like to speak on this, or if Vice Mayor Hurst, do you have more information about the fireworks program?
Actually, it's laid out really well in this ordinance. Yeah, the rising costs and the fact that we kind of got a late start with the fundraising, it kind of necessitated us to request more from the village than we normally request. But yeah, we hope to have another great 4th of July celebration this year.
I'm looking forward to it.
So, Mr. Hurst, you were able to get the 501c3 that ran through?
We're under yours.
Oh. Well, it says West Mountain
Temporarily.
Community
Temporarily.
Celebration.
Temporarily.
Temporarily.
That's a transitional until their paperwork is complete.
I see, okay. Sounds good. Okay, excited we can have the fireworks.
Absolutely. Sure, we're gonna have a good show. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it. So,
Yep, it'll be here before you know it.
oh, yeah. Any other discussion for the resolution? Is there a motion for the resolution?
Make a motion, we accept CM-23-16 as read and written.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Ms. Cobb?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Abstain?
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes. Next is a CM-23-17. Ms. Brush.
And this is actually an ordinance. I know your agenda says it's a resolution, but it's an
Oh.
ordinance.
My
Thank you.
mistake.
It's an ordinance determining that the real property owned by the Village of West Milton and located at 2628 Lowry Drive to be surplus and not necessary or needed for any current municipal purpose, and authorizing the municipal manager to enter into an agreement for the rental of same. Whereas the Village of West Milton is the owner of a building and lot located at 2628 Lowry Drive in the village. And whereas said building and lot are currently vacant and not necessary or needed for any current municipal purpose. And whereas a tenant has indicated an interest in leasing said property from the village to be utilized for a retail establishment. And whereas the village is willing to lease the property to a tenant under certain conditions and finds that the rental of same for a retail establishment is in the best interest of the village. Now therefore be it ordained by the council for the Village of West Milton, Ohio as follows. Section 1, that the building and lot owned by the village and municipality located at 2628 Lowry Drive is hereby declared surplus and not necessary or needed for any current municipal purpose, and the municipal manager is hereby authorized to execute the attached lease agreement with the referenced tenant for the lease of same. Section 2, that the municipal manager is authorized to renew the lease agreement at the end of the term with adjustments in rent or terms with the current tenant, as long as such changes in the lease agreement are consistent with the general substance and terms and conditions of the current lease agreement, and as long as the rent charged is consistent with the village market for similar rental properties. Section 3, this ordinance shall become effective from and after the earliest date permitted by law.
Manager Sheridan?
As was discussed at the workshop, this came about because a longtime downtown establishment lost their lease, and we very much wanted to keep them in the village, and it just so happens that our building will fit their needs. And so this is, I think, a win-win. The village generates a little bit of revenue, and we get to keep the gleaning place here in town.
Very good. Any other discussion or questions regarding the ordinance? And since this is a first reading of the ordinance, there will be no vote or action taken until after a second reading. Next is CM-23-18, and
It's getting announced tomorrow.
Okay, well.
I'll turn that over to Ms. Brush.
Okay, this one is also an ordinance, so. An ordinance authorizing the municipal manager to take any and all necessary actions to convey a certain real property to James A. Sarver and a certain real property from James A. Sarver as part of a real estate exchange. Whereas James A. Sarver owns the property located at 216 South Miami Street, West Milton, Ohio, and whereas James A. Sarver has submitted a proposed agreement for community reinvestment area tax incentives in regards to said property for additions, new construction, and improvements to the existing building. And whereas it has been determined that said property qualifies for the Community Reinvestment Area tax incentives pursuant to Section 150.256 of the West Milton Codified Ordinances. And whereas said property is located in the downtown business district and is therefore exempt from the 1.5% development fee pursuant to Section 150.333C of the West Milton Codified Ordinances. And whereas James A. Sarver has proposed a land exchange with the municipality as part of his plans for additions, new construction, and improvements to the existing building. And whereas the land being exchanged has been determined to be of inconsequential value. And whereas council is satisfied that there is good cause to transfer said portions of the municipality's property in exchange for a portion of Mr. Sarver's property, and that it will not be detrimental to the general interest of the public. Now therefore be it ordained by the council for the municipality of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, council hereby authorizes the municipal manager to take all necessary steps to convey the property described in Exhibit A in fee simple to James A. Sarver, and to accept the property described in Exhibit B in fee simple from James A. Sarver, in order to finalize the land exchange for the purpose of improving the downtown business district in compliance with the plan submitted by James A. Sarver for additions, new construction, and improvements. Exhibit A and Exhibit B are attached hereto and incorporated herein as if fully rewritten. Section 3, this ordinance shall be effective on and after the earliest date permitted by law.
Thank you.
Yeah, this ordinance deals with an announcement that we'll be making for some new construction in downtown West Milton. According to my research, it will be the first new construction since the 1960s. It will add 2 new business spaces to the village. I think it's only appropriate that it comes on the heels of adopting our downtown master plan, which we hope will encourage additional investment and revitalization.
Very good. Any other questions or discussion regarding the ordinance tonight? All right. Moving on to CM-23-19. Ms. Brush.
It's a resolution authorizing the agreement of Everbridge Nixle Mass Communication System. Whereas the municipality sees a need to sign an agreement for the calendar year 2023 with Everbridge Nixle Mass Communications, and whereas council by resolution CM-23-19 authorizes the municipality of West Milton to enter into this agreement with Everbridge Mass Communications for the purpose of rapidly reaching community members. And whereas Everbridge Communications will provide a platform of communications to the West Milton community that enhances general public knowledge about emergencies, upcoming events, impending severe weather, and any other pertinent communications for public safety or general knowledge. And whereas it is the opinion of the municipal manager that this is in the best interest of the municipality and in compliance with the administrative code and this resolution. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the municipality of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, the municipal manager is hereby authorized and directed to pay $3,249.17 for the first year agreement of public mass communications and renewal in its succeeding years if deemed for the good of the community.
Thank you, Ms. Brush.
This is a system that will allow the village to communicate one-on-one with our residents. It does require the residents to opt in. They can be contacted either by mobile phone, by landline, by email, or by text. We'll use it for emergencies, but it's also can be very helpful just in reminding our residents of road closures, changes in refuse pickup, really all kinds of things. I had this system in a previous municipality where I served as the manager, and what we found, it was a great tool for just letting folks know about more enjoyable events, parades, changes in like our third Thursdays, or letting them know what bands are going to be playing, trying to encourage folks to get more involved. So it can be a great tool for communication.
Very good.
At what point will this be implemented? If this,
Chief, I would expect it'll, take 30 days to maybe?
Yeah, there's, as soon as you authorize this, I'll make contact with him this week once we get the purchase order approved. And I would imagine fairly quickly, he'll start getting things set up. The guy I've been working with, the salesman. What'll happen from there is there's a training process for several of the members of the the city to be able to use this. We're going to have to have access away from the office that we can use it on our cell phones in case we need to put out an emergency message of some sort. So I would imagine within the next 60 days it would be up and available. We'll post it to the website, we'll post it to our Facebook, we'll put it on the bottom of the bills, water bills that go out, letting people know about how to get on and actually sign up for this service. So we'll be pushing it every place we can. We have an upcoming open house in May, we'll be pushing it there too.
Yeah. The real key to the effectiveness is getting residents to opt in.
Yes.
They have to understand they have to sign up before we'll be communicating with them.
They choose how they want that communication.
Correct.
too. They can get it in all the forms, or they can get it in just one.
Okay.
And does that work with more than just cell phones? So if somebody has just a landline?
Yes, it'll do landline, it'll call your house.
Okay.
It'll do texting, cell phones, and some people, carry a tablet instead that has a number. As long as it has a phone number that it would be able to call,
Okay.
it would answer or send that message to whatever.
Okay, very good. Any other questions or discussion for the resolution?
I'm excited. I think this will be great.
The other, I want to add this, the other great part about this is that it has a weather feature to it. I know we have the tornado sirens here, but it also will put out, if we were to get something in this area of a tornado warning or severe storm, it'll put that out as well automatically. We don't have to push that out. That's a feature that comes with it.
Very
Great.
cool. Is there a motion for the resolution?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept CM-23-19.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Ms. Cobb?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes. All right, that concludes the ordinances and resolutions. Thank you, Ms. Broch, for sticking in there for us. I'll turn it over to Manager Sheridan for his report.
The only additional item I would want to bring to the public's attention is that the village did receive a grant for just under $1 million for the construction of a multimodal trail, 10-foot wide concrete path that will begin at the intersection of 571 and 48 and on the south side, and then go all the way to Rachel Ann Boulevard. The really important feature from my perspective is it includes reconfiguring the bridge, so there'll be a concrete barrier to protect people who walk and bicyclists from vehicular traffic. So we're going to have our kickoff meeting tomorrow. It does require a local match, but the total project is expected to be approximately $1.4 million, with the Fed paying $1 million. So.
Very good. That's, I think that's important. I've seen a lot of kids already traveling across there and walking.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's key to tying the new development into the downtown business district. Those kids are gonna be rolling in for everything from French fries to Wertz's, and I think it's important that they be safe crossing that bridge.
absolutely.
That's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. At this time, we'll open up for old business with council. Any old business? Any new business?
Oh, I had, a comment. The paving program I saw we had,
Yes.
are we gonna talk about it again? I know we already talked about it. But someone had asked me when Hamilton Street is getting repaved this summer, I know. Just, with traffic coming to and from the school and Lowry, there was any thought of making it like a one-sided parking to make traffic flow easier. Someone mentioned it, so I thought I'd bring it up. I know it gets hard in the evenings or school time to kind of go down the road and pull over and allow people and just a thought.
Oh, it's like, you're talking about parking in general?
Yeah,
Oh,
street
okay.
parking, like if street parking were only on one side and not both sides.
Is it possible to ask the school and others to just push out the information to please try to enter Lowry utilizing Hay Street, whatever it is that cuts over versus funneling everybody through there like we're kind of used to? Or can you close it to through traffic only?
Are you talking about during the work?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so, well, one, obviously, we're gonna do it when school's not in.
Right.
Because that's too much of an artery to try to do during school.
But even like just thinking of Lowry in the summer, you know.
Oh, like any time.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Just while you guys are constructing that, there's, I don't know, at any given time, there's 150 cars in the parking
Yeah,
lot
I mean, we can
outside of
just
Lowry,
Strategically.
between
put
soccer,
it out.
baseball.
Yeah, because that's gonna be difficult as the Lowry, obviously, so trying to get people automatically going the other way would be a pretty big deal, so. We
Okay.
wanna try, on that particular street, we'd really like to have the paving really closely follow the milling, just so we can get in, get it done, and open it up, so. Because that's just a really highly traveled.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
I know this would be kind of a big deal, but could we possibly even widen that street? Like take the grassy section away or make it smaller on each side so that it just widens the street? I mean, I know that's like
That'd be
a lot of
reconstruction
money,
project,
but,
so.
then, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. Sure. I know this is like down the
Some people
road.
have their front porch practically on the sidewalk now. I'd be like coming to your business and asking you to give up your sidewalk.
Just throwing it out there.
It's something if the I'm sorry. Something if the council's interested, we can at least ask our engineers to look at a preliminary feasibility, whether it's what it might look like and maybe more importantly, what it might cost. If you're so interested.
The other thing would be, make it and the street next to it one way, and then configure it so that, you know, whichever way was the one way would be, and then you would have to, you know, exit one side so there'd only be traffic flowing in one direction. People could
That's a
still park
thought,
on both
too.
sides, although it would be an inconvenience if you had to go all the way up and come back down and around to get to your house, and I understand that, but it would be cheap because you don't have to put up one-way signs and, you know.
There will
But-
be, I'm sorry, there
sorry,
will be a
but-
transportation chapter that will be completed for the comprehensive plan. Perhaps that's something that could be considered when we're working on that chapter.
Yes, I think that would be a good time to, and I'm sure that there are other locations through town that would probably benefit from looking at and with the increased traffic that we've seen over the years.
Sure.
You know, do we need to look at widening or one-way streets, or, you know, what are some ideas and seeing what that plan can come up with, so. Yeah.
I'll add that to the list.
Keeps getting bigger.
I know, I hate to add one more thing, but I know it ties into then, is it Haskett that runs by the baseball field and then Milton Potsdam to the school? That it's just now with the school being there and a big traffic issue, which I know was partly Union Township, I was told, and then, you know, those homeowners have to park on the sidewalk practically, like, it's just an inconvenience to them too. And then that being the sidewalk, I guess, where kids would cross to walk. Just, I don't know, configuring something, does there need to be sidewalk on both sides, or could the street be widened to make it easier? Seems difficult for all that school traffic and sports traffic.
Yeah, if it helps, the transportation plan, I would expect, would look at not only vehicular, but also pedestrian, filling in the holes on our sidewalk system, maybe other potential places where trails. You know, we're an automobile-centric community, or society, but the more people walk, the healthier, the better, and the safer.
Any other new business or old business? At this time, I'd like to open the floor up to comments by citizens.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is William Lutz. I'm the Executive Director of New Path, 7695 South County Road 25A. in Tip City. We are the ones that own the Gleaning Place at 31 North Miami Street. We're looking forward to our new home on Highway Drive. I just want to thank the council, mayor, and commend Mr. Sheridan. You have all been extremely easy to work with, and we're very excited about our impending move to the south part of town. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Seeing no other comments, is there a motion for adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? All right. Thank you.